Ted Danson. You may remember him from Cheers. You might know him as the ghost from 3 Men and a Baby. Or you might know him from any of these other shows I've never seen. But to me, I will never not think of him as the man who did blackface in 1993. But it wasn't just blackface, it wasn't just a random occurrence, and it wasn't just towards a crowd of strangers. It was also partially towards Whoopi Goldberg, his girlfriend. Danson met Goldberg backstage at the Arsenio Hall show in 1988, and a few years later during production of the film Made in America, the two began to have an affair. Though it wasn't exactly a secret. Many tabloids reported on their romantic exploits, and it was a sort of everybody knew scenario within Hollywood. On October 8, 1993, in the ballroom of the New York Hilton Hotel, celebrity guests filled the dining tables to watch a legendary Friars Club roast with guest of honor, Whoopi herself. Roasts are intended to be as shocking as possible. They're supposed to be depraved, insensitive, rude, gross, whatever, as long as it's funny. But when Ted Danson was introduced as the roast master of the evening, people were a lot more shocked than they expected to be. Danson was not only in blackface, but he was in full-on traditional 1930s minstrel dress, with the big pronounced white lips and the top hat and the tuxedo with coattails and everything. He went on to tell jokes about his sex life with Whoopi, mixed-race children, and used the N-word well over a dozen times. One report by Roger Ebert states that he even started to eat watermelon on stage, although there doesn't appear to be any in the surviving photographs. Many black celebrities in attendance were appalled. Mayor of New York at the time, David Dinkins, walked out early, and Montel Williams likened it to a KKK meeting. There's even this photograph of what looks to be an older black gentleman admonishing Ted after the show. I only say this because Ted looks a little caught off guard here, but that's just speculation on my end. Numerous newspaper articles would harshly criticize him for such an obscene performance in what was supposedly a more progressive time. However, one person who actually didn't have a problem with the roast was Whoopi herself. In every picture that has her in it, she looks like she's having the time of her life. And in addition, after the incident, she criticized those who went after Danson. Quote, "If they knew me, they would know that Whoopi has never been about political correctness. I built my whole career destigmatizing words like sexual jokes of the basest kind and ethnic jokes, while mostly Jewish-oriented, have been the fare. Why anyone would take offense to Ted's roasting me in the tradition of the Friars Club is beyond me."
Part of what Ted's roasting was about being proud of me and who I am, and that he is proud to be my friend and walk beside me in life. But Montel missed all of that. Perhaps Montel's show is not doing as well as it could be, and this was his way of drawing attention.
What's more, according to the Associated Press, Whoopi said herself that she not only wrote many of Ted's jokes, but even referred him to the makeup artist who did his blackface. And well, you can't ever really describe blackface as good, but it's very well applied. Danson even supposedly said at one point, quote, "She dared me to do this," referring to Goldberg. But despite their pushback, the damage was already done. Ted Danson made a public statement apologizing, his very expensive divorce with his second wife was finalized, and his relationship with Whoopi was over by the following month, though it was reported that the roast didn't have anything to do with it. Yet surprisingly enough, it could have been even worse, because it's very likely the performance was taped. The Friars Club roasts were famous nationwide and had been filmed since the early 50s, so it's almost a given that a high-profile celebrity like Goldberg be given the same treatment. Indeed, footage from the previous year's roast can be found, but over 30 years later, no footage of the 1993 roast itself has surfaced. There are clips from websites like Getty Images showing Whoopi and Ted before the performance, posing for cameras and talking to reporters. Judging from these clips, there were at least 4 videographers in the crowd, including the one filming. However, we do have a snippet of audio from the tape. In 1999, Cinemax aired the documentary Let Me In, I Hear Laughter, a salute to the Friars Club, detailing the club's 80 years of existence up to that point. A whole section was dedicated to the Whoopi roast, affectionately titled Makin' Whoopi, which contains the only segment remaining from the Danson minstrel show.
Please welcome Ted Danson.
There would be no reason for the Friars Club to record only audio of the show unless they knew what his act was going to be ahead of time, which, if their reactions are anything to go by, clearly they didn't. That, and the audio doesn't sound like it was bootlegged or recorded secretly by a member of the press. The MC's voice is very clear, the crowd noise doesn't drown out Whoopi's reaction, and there's no room tone or harsh reverb or any of the telltale signs that it was recorded in that room. This sounds like it was taken straight from the PA's mixing desk, which lends further credibility to this audio being from a full video recording. It's unknown where the footage resides now, seeing as how the Friars Club itself basically shut down and its clubhouse sold at a foreclosure auction last year. But the photographs still remain, and they're still a reminder of what Danson himself described as a graceless moment in his life. It's kinda surprising that he managed to maintain his career and good image, and that he was able to recover fairly quickly. Hell, Howard Stern got in more trouble after the incident than Ted did. He himself donned the exact same outfit and made the exact same racial jokes alongside Sherman Hemsley, Mr. Jefferson, for the TV special Howard Stern's New Year's Rotten Eve pageant.
Ted, I must say that I can't believe you're still in blackface after the Friars roast controversy.
Oh, hush up. I hate blackface. I just can't get this shit off.
When that clip resurfaced in 2020, no thanks to Donald Trump Jr., it got enough attention that Stern himself had to address it. The shit I did was fucking crazy, I'll be the first to admit. I won't go back and watch those old shows. It's like, who is that guy? But that was my shtick. That's what I did, and I own it.
Yeah.
If I had to do it all over again, would I lampoon Ted Danson, a white guy in blackface?
Yes.
Yeah. I was lampooning him and saying, I'm going to shine a light on this. But would I go about it the same way now? Probably not. Besides, it's not like this was the last time blackface crept back into modern-day media. Jimmy Kimmel, Justin Trudeau, Billy Crystal, Robert Downey Jr., all have donned blackface makeup for gags, and all have been slammed by the press for it. It's not like I specifically bring Danson up because he's somehow worse than any of these people, nor am I even trying to call him out for it. It was a gig that happened 32 years ago. It's not my place to pass judgment on it. But I will say, anytime a rerun of Cheers airs on TV, or anytime I catch an ad for A Man on the Inside, I can't help but think about how this man is the same person as this man.
Look, you two, don't you think you're gonna ruin your career this way?
No. What's wrong with you? This here routine is showing people that we is not afraid to confront our racial stereotypes. Looky here. We is a nation of racists, and we must break through that barrier that we done constructed for ourselves. Can't you see that? Can't you see that, you little rib breath mama?